would like to call the Monday, November 2, 2020 Oakwood City Council meeting to order. I hear a reverb. Do you all hear that? Okay. Okay.
Fine, go ahead.
All right. Would you please rise and join me with the pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a roll call, please, Lori?
Mayor Duncan,
Here.
Vice Mayor Byington,
Here.
Mr. Stevens,
Here.
Mrs. Hilton,
Here.
Mr. Epley.
And may I have a report on the minutes of our October 5 regular session and work session and our October 26 executive session? Councilmember Hilton.
Yes, Your Honor, I've reviewed the minutes from all three of those meetings, and I found them to be correct and complete, and therefore I move that they be adopted as written.
Do I have a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So ordered. Under status reports, we have two. We're pleased to announce the winners of the 2020 Scarecrow Building Contest. This is the 18th year of this traditional fall event. Unfortunately, we were not able to conduct the Fall Family Festival that normally accompanies Scarecrow Row, but we still did scarecrows and did so safely. Our thanks to the Leisure Service Director, Carol Collins, and her staff for developing the plan on how to safely conduct this event. And thanks to all the participants. There were 29 entries this year, which was 3 more than last year. Due to COVID-19, the scarecrow judging took place differently this year. Normally, a couple of residents join me in judging the scarecrows in person on the day of the Family Fall Festival. This year, residents voted for their favorite scarecrow by either emailing or calling the Oakwood Community Center. We accepted 1 vote per household. We have a PowerPoint that we will show each winning scarecrow display as I announce it. We will start with third place. Third place is Scare Zoom by the Caudron family. The winner of the second place is Creepy Carrots by the Wenning, Korab, and Powell families. And the first place winner is Murder Hornets for $200 by the Moms of Oakwood. The 2020 Mayor's Award goes to The Legend of Schaefer Hollow by the Bagwood and Buck families. Normally, we would invite the winners to receive their awards here in person this evening, but under the circumstances, decided to limit the meeting attendance. We will deliver the awards to each of the winners. Thanks again to everyone who participated in building a scarecrow this year, and thanks to everyone that participated in the voting. And then next, we have our 2020 Beautification Award winners, and I will ask Jennifer Wilder to introduce that issue for the people to see on TV. Thank you.
We have a beautiful video here by Carl Sukamel of NBCC's put together, so I invite you to tune in.
Thank you so much for doing that, Jennifer. This is normally one of the neatest meetings that we have because the room would normally be full with people here to receive their awards. And we do have one person here to receive his award, but Will, we're going to hand deliver that to your home. But the thing that I noticed, there's not a single yard sign in any one of those homes. And I had a dream that I woke up on November 4, and every yard sign, including the two in my own yard, had magically disappeared. So I look forward to Oakwood remaining beautiful. So, but we appreciate everything that everyone in the city does to maintain their properties. It's clearly one of the reasons that a lot of people want to move and live in Oakwood is the part of the community ambiance. And you just look at all those houses from very big to very small and how just uniquely they have decorated their homes. And it's like, I'd live in any one of those houses.
Yeah.
It's really something. So does anyone else want to?
Yeah, I have a question. Jennifer, thank you. The video was great. This is the first year I actually read the rules, and I learned that ordinary people like me can nominate somebody, so I did for the first time. But I'm curious, I mean, this is so impressive. It's just that the addresses, they're all over the place. The one I nominated is one I pass by every day. But how many people, does the Beautification Committee, are they responsible for most of the selections, or is it ordinary people like me, or?
It's a little bit of both. We do accept nominations. We have a form on our website for people to email in. And then the Property Maintenance Board is broken up into 5 districts, and they will review the nominations and select those and submit those to the city.
Oh, okay.
Anyone else?
Thanks.
Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you. Again, thank you for that. That concludes our status report section. We will now have a visitor section. Good to see you. And if anyone... Will has...
Try that, Mike.
It was Halloween.
It was.
It was Halloween. Well, all right, there's only one visitor left in the room. Do you wish to address council? Thank you. That will conclude our visitor section. Holy moly. We do have a couple pieces of legislation, and Vice Mayor Byington has an ordinance regarding the coronavirus.
Yes, Your Honor. This is an ordinance to amend Section 1 of the 2020 original appropriation ordinance number 4897 and the supplemental appropriation ordinance number 4912, 4917, 4920, and 4922, which are to provide for the appropriation of an additional amount of $322,515.41 to be expended from the local coronavirus relief fund to cover costs consistent with the requirements of Section 5001 of the CARES Act for the City of Oakwood, State of Ohio during this fiscal year. This is a supplemental appropriation ordinance to address coronavirus reimbursement funding that the city is eligible to receive under the Federal CARES Act. Council adopted similar ordinances in July and September based on the city's increased eligibility to receive CARES Act funding. Initially, we were eligible to receive a little over $128,000. This was increased in September to approximately $192,000. Our eligibility has been increased by an additional $322,015, plus an estimated $500 in accrued interest for a total of $515,508.01 in CARES Act funding eligibility. Council is required to adopt a supplemental appropriation ordinance in order to use the CARES Act money. Under Section 3.04 of the City Charter, this appropriation ordinance will take effect immediately. I move that council waive the second reading of this ordinance and adopt it this evening.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments for Vice Mayor Byington? Hearing none, Lori, would you call the roll?
Mayor Duncan?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Byington?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mrs. Hilton?
Yes.
Mr. Epley?
And Vice Mayor Byington has a follow-up ordinance related to this issue.
Yes, this is a resolution finding that public safety personnel and substantially dedicated to mitigating or responding to the COVID-19 public health emergency. This is a resolution that also relates to federal CARES Act funding. CARES Act funding is generally intended to reimburse expenditures related to mitigating or responding to the COVID-19 pandemic, which can include a wide range of things from plexiglass barriers to video conferencing technology. Generally, that money cannot be used to offset payroll expenses and benefits, and there is an exception for public safety employees. Based on guidance from the U.S. Department of the Treasury and from the Ohio Office of Budget and Management, there is a presumption that public safety employees, including police officers, firefighters, emergency medical personnel, and support staff such as dispatchers, are substantially dedicated to mitigating or responding to the COVID-19 pandemic. Our finance director and law director have reviewed all available guidance to ensure that the presumption can be fairly applied in Oakwood. Council wishes to adopt this resolution, making a formal finding that the presumption applies to our safety department employees. We believe that due to the unique nature of our consolidated public safety department, where all officers are certified and serve as police officers, firefighters, and either paramedics or EMTs, our officers have been on the front line of this pandemic and have been substantially dedicated to its mitigation and response. It is important to note that CARES Act funding is limited, and we may not be able to apply that funding to offset all safety department payroll and benefit expenses. Industry standards require at least 2 officers every time we deploy an ambulance, and every crew is staffed with at least 1 paramedic, which is a higher level of medical certification than that of an EMT. For that reason, although we are making the determination that all of our public safety employees are substantially dedicated to COVID-19 pandemic response, which is clearly the case, we believe that the employees most directly dedicated to pandemic responses are 1 paramedic and 1 EMT per shift for the relevant March through December time period. We are therefore authorizing the Finance Department to apply CARES Act funding, first to offset the payroll and benefit expenses of those employees. Payroll and benefit expenses for other public safety department employees will only be offset to the extent that additional CARES Act funding is available. I move that council adopt this resolution this evening.
Second.
Second.
Any questions or comments for Vice Mayor Byington? Hearing none, Lori, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Duncan?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Byington?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mrs. Hilton?
Yes.
Mr. Epley?
And then finally, Councilmember Stevens has an ordinance.
Thank you, Mayor Duncan. An ordinance to approve current replacement pages to the Oakwood Traffic and General Offenses Codes. Each year, we pass an annual housekeeping ordinance to align our local traffic and general offense ordinances with changes that have been made at the state level. This ordinance will adopt our 2020 replacement pages for the Traffic Code and General Offenses Code. Since this is the first reading, I make no motion at this time.
We have no staff report this evening, but we do have a city manager's report. City Manager Klops, welcome.
Afraid to speak in the mic. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, I apologize for the audio issues tonight. As we always do, we tested everything before the meeting, and everything worked, but now apparently it doesn't, so anyway. Couple quick things I want to mention. First, an announcement about our OCC. We just recently established an online registration system whereby our citizens can now, via their smartphone, connect to the OCC, and they can read up on all the different programs, sporting events, activities, and classes that are given. They can register for them right there on their little handheld device, and most importantly, they can pay for them right there. So it's a one-stop shop. There's no longer a need for folks to come into the OCC to do that. Been working on this for about a year. Obviously, the pandemic slowed things down there for a while, but it's a great new offering, and we're happy to roll that out. Detailed information about it was emailed to the 1,800 or so folks on our OCC email distribution list last week, and of course is available on our website. So I'd encourage everybody to go take a look at that. Even though we have that offering, you can still go into the OCC and do it the old-fashioned way if you want to. Secondly, as you know, the leaf collection season is not only underway but in full swing. So the next few weeks are the heavy weeks for us, and we just remind everybody to try to pay attention to the 2-week calendar. Every 2 weeks to go by your frontage, and ideally just put the leaves out a day or two before the pickup, and just push them right out there to the curb, right in the gutter, and we'll pick them up and take them to the yard. They then, of course, as we've done for a couple decades now, get hauled off and over the winter, ground up, and over the winter months converted into a real nice leaf mulch product that we then offer in the spring to our citizens. A little bit later this month, we're going to start a small storm sewer improvement project on Ridgewood Avenue between the intersection of Ridgewood and Skank and East Shantz Avenue. So that one block of Ridgewood will be closed to through traffic. There are 2 or 3 homes on that block, and those folks will get personal notification and some details on how they can access their property. But the road will be closed for 2 to 3 weeks for the construction and, again, installation of that storm sewer. A big thanks to a large section of our community this year that dealt with the Vectrin gas line project. We had at the end of the day, we had 4 different project areas in Oakwood, a lot of activity over about a 6-month period of time, and it's effectively completed. There may be a couple remaining very minor things to wrap up, but other than that, this year's project is completed, and I believe they have 2 or 3 more years, and then what will have been a 12 or 13-year project will be completely done, and the entire gas infrastructure in Oakwood will have been rebuilt. So we can see the finish line on that project. And then finally, as you know, we've been working on the 2021 budget for about 2 months, and we're getting close to having it ready to present, which we'll do at the December council meeting. We had a good meeting with our Citizen Budget Review Committee a week ago and a couple weeks ago, and had 9 residents show up in person. We met at the OCC, where we had a lot of room in the great room there, but we had 13 or 14 that participated via Zoom. So we had 23 or 24 of our 35 members of the committee participate and get about an hour and a half worth of detailed information about our city finances, the impact of the statewide shutdown, the virus, et cetera. And what I presented to them is a bit of a pared down budget for next year, about $500,000 or so less in our capital program. And I made a commitment to the committee that we would present to the committee in early December, and then again to City Council for approval, a balanced budget for 2021. And importantly, there are no new taxes proposed and no fee increases across the board. So no water, sewer, stormwater, or refuse fee increases. So we'll keep everything the same for 2021. That's all I have.
Questions for City Manager? All right, yeah.
It's not a question. I think you're in comments. I set up my account on the OCC registration system today, and it's really slick. I mean, it's very nice. And so I understand that December 1st I can start signing up for programs.
Right.
So that'll be populated then. So, and it's a really nice complement to the website, which Lori and Jennifer did last year. So great work.
Great. Any other questions for the City Manager? I think one of the things we're going to spend some COVID relief money on is upgrading Zoom capability and conference and maybe this audio-visual system that we have here.
Yes, sir, we will.
All right, thank you. That concludes our city manager report. It's now time for council comments. Councilmember Epley. Councilmember Hilton.
No comments, Your Honor.
Councilmember Stevens.
I have no comments as well.
Vice Mayor Byington.
I'm going to go no comments. Well, no, I will say that since we will not be meeting until December, I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Veterans Day on November 11th, and then a very happy and hopefully very safe Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much. And I can't let that go by without saying, do your duty tomorrow and please go vote. Thank you very much. Our next meeting will be on Monday, December 14, 2020, and we are adjourned.